Welcome back. In today's explainer, we're focusing entirely on A Course in Miracles, specifically Lesson 73. If you've been working through this material with us, you already know just how profound these perspective shifts can be, right? Well, today's text is absolutely crucial. It's all about reclaiming your power from those daily illusions that honestly just exhaust us. Okay, let's dive into this. I will there be light. That is the exact decree of today's lesson. And it's not some passive hope or a quiet little request. No, it is a firm declarative anchor for everything we're going to unpack today. When you actually say, I will there be light, you're making a conscious, incredibly powerful choice. You're aligning with reality and completely rejecting the darkness.
Part 1. The Ego's Idle Wishes, Creating a False Reality.
To really understand the light, we first have to wrap our heads around the darkness and where it actually comes from. The text tells us darkness arises from the ego's idle wishes. Now, what's really interesting about this comparison is the stark contrast. On one hand, you have the will you share with God. This has all the literal power of creation in it. It's light, and it is 100% real. But on the other hand, you've got the ego's idle wishes. These are unshared, meaning they are completely, absolutely powerless. But, and this is a big but, the text makes a brilliant distinction. They aren't idle in the sense that they can't trick you. Your belief in this illusory, darkened world can be incredibly strong, but they're idle in terms of true creation. They make absolutely nothing that is real.
Part 2. The Trap of Grievances, the Ego's Middlemen.
So this brings us to a slightly darker, honestly more exhausting part of our psychological experience: grievances. Grievances and those idle wishes we just talked about, they're partners. They are the co-makers in picturing the darkened world you currently see around you. Let's define exactly what a grievance is here. It is the ego's go-to tool used to maintain illusions, trade guilt, and completely block your awareness of reality. Think of it like a shadowy marketplace in your mind. The text describes these grievances as middlemen employed by the ego. They literally stand right between your awareness and the reality of the people around you. When you're looking through the lens of a grievance, you don't actually know the other person. And worse, you completely lose awareness of your true self. And this brilliantly illustrates what the text calls a strange bartering system. I mean, look at what happens in this bizarre marketplace of the ego. Guilt is just constantly traded back and forth. With each exchange, your grievances don't actually get resolved. They just increase. And the result? Your reality is completely blocked out and your true will is lost in the transaction. It's wild when you think about it. The lesson poses a profound question here. Did God create disaster for his son? Would creation make a world that literally kills itself? Well, the answer, of course, is no. Creation is the will of both together, and it simply does not destroy.
Part 3. Choosing Happiness Over Suffering, Reasserting Your True Will.
It is time to step out of that exhausting marketplace of guilt. We really need to come back to the core question of our own suffering and our ultimate, sincere desire for happiness. Listen to these questions directly from the text, and just let them sit with you for a second. Do you really want to be in hell? Do you really want to weep and suffer and die? You have to forget the ego's arguments that try to convince you this cycle of grievance and guilt is somehow keeping you safe, or that this is really heaven. Come on, you know it isn't. Deep down, you cannot actually want this for yourself. So the crucial point is simply this: suffering is not happiness, and it is happiness that you really want. That is your true will and truth. And because you genuinely want happiness, salvation is your will as well. You actually want to succeed in today's practice, because at your core, your will is perfectly aligned with waking up from all this suffering. There is a point beyond which illusions cannot go. Wow, what an incredibly empowering realization. Today, right now, the ego stands completely powerless before your will. Your free will is absolute, and literally nothing can prevail against your desire to remember who you really are. Sure, illusions might seem loud and scary, but they have a hard limit. Your true will, it doesn't.
Part 4. Forgiveness Lifts the Darkness, Looking Upon a World of Light.
So how do we actually operationalize this? If the ego is powerless and our true will is just for happiness, what is the mechanism that bridges the gap? Well, it's forgiveness. Forgiveness is the ultimate solution that lifts all that darkness we've been talking about. The Course is super clear on this. Your picture of the world can only mirror what is within you. The source of light or darkness is never outside of you. If you're holding on to grievances, it literally darkens your mind, and you will inevitably look out onto a darkened world.
But the moment you practice forgiveness, you lift that internal darkness, you reassert your true will, and suddenly, boom, you are looking upon a world of light. The outside simply reflects the inside.
Part 5. The daily practice, reclaiming your power. Let's move to and see how this builds into your actual routine today. Understanding the theory is great, but A Course in Miracles is, after all, a practical workbook. So here are the exact, actionable steps to practice Lesson 73 today. For your longer practice periods, there's a simple 3-step process. First, begin by recognizing that God's plan for salvation is perfectly in accord with your will. And I want to emphasize this heavily. This is not some alien power being thrust upon you against your wishes. No, it is the exact purpose you and your Father perfectly agree upon. Second, you state the decree. And third, you let your will assert itself, joining with that higher power. During this longer practice, you're going to tell yourself this exact phrase with gentle firmness and quiet certainty. I will, there be light. Let me behold the light that reflects God's will and mine. Speak it internally, not as a desperate plea, but as a recognized, rock-solid fact. Then, just put the rest of the practice period under that guidance and let them lead the way.
Now let's talk about the shorter practice periods throughout your busy day. First, make a quick declaration of what you really want. Second, aim to repeat this several times an hour. But the third point, and listen closely because this is the absolutely most important part, you must apply this idea the exact moment a temptation to hold a grievance arises. Seriously, don't wait. Catch it the second it happens.
When that middleman of the ego tries to initiate a shady trade in your mind, when that grievance pops up, you say this, I will there be light. Darkness is not my will. Repeating this specific declaration helps you let the grievance go instantly. The only alternative is cherishing it, feeding it, and hiding it in the dark. So bring it immediately to the light with this phrase.
Which brings us to the ultimate question for you to take away from this explainer today. What grievance will you drop today to let the light in? Remember, your will is completely free, and deep down, you do not want to suffer. It's time to end the insane belief that you choose hell over heaven. Take Lesson 73, apply the decree, and let your true will be done today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next explainer.